The University of Minnesota women's basketball program got a real shot in the arm this year when Coach Cheryl Littlejohn joined the ranks as head coach. The former University of Alabama assistant is known for her hard work philosophy and ability to recruit, both assets this program needs. Although they are 2-5, the Gophers have made progress so far this season, and their expectations are high. With returning players like Angie Iverson, Sarah Schieber, Mindy Hansen, Sonia Robinson, and Kiana Burns, and newcomers like Teresa Lakir, this is a team that could represent the beginning of a new era at the U of M. Yet what everyone is wondering now is, how long will it take for Coach Littlejohn and the Gophers to turn this program around? We'll answer that question and more on this Ms. Gopher Sports Special.
This Ms. Gopher Sports Special is brought to you by the new Dodge, by Reliastar, and by Cenex Land O'Lakes.
The Golden Gophers are definitely playing harder and smarter these days. And although it hasn't shown up in the win column yet, they are gaining momentum. And most attribute that to a new coaching staff and style.
They are as intense as we are every day at practice, which is good. I mean, that's where it needs to be. And that helps us keep our intensity up, too.
They have been to the level that we want to be at, and so they know what it takes to get there. They have the experience, and they know how to get it out of us. And, you know, so, I mean, they're great people. Their enthusiasm is contagious to all of us, and it's just great to work with them.
I think that's what we needed. We needed somebody to believe in us so that we can believe in ourselves.
Building a winning program is a challenge, but hopefully the combination of a talented and hardworking team, along with a coaching staff of like mind, will take this program to a new level. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this Ms. Gopher Sports Special. I'm Michelle Tafoya. As you heard, the U of M women's basketball program is undergoing a big change this year, and here to talk about that is new head coach Cheryl Littlejohn. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
You're off to a 2-5 start. Everyone's looking at that number, but a big win on Saturday. I think we can start the show on that note because it was big. You came in against a Western Illinois team that was similar in record to you, but you put them away. What went well? What's starting to go well with this team?
I think the first thing is we started having better practices. Our intensity was definitely there in practice, and our focus and concentration was there. And like I told them, that, you know, all of the coaching staff, and myself included, we believe in them. And I think that they needed that they needed the confidence to go out, and I think just to have their intensity to be there.
You come from a pretty tremendous background, a player at Tennessee, played in the Final Four, assistant coach at NC State and then at Alabama. A lot of success in your background, but this is your first head coaching job. How has it met with your expectations? What's it been like so far? Actually, I didn't know what to expect after, you know, for this being my first head coaching job. But the first thing that I knew that after I got the job, that Pat and I talked, and the first thing that she told me advice was that your work ethic. You know, Cheryl, keep doing the things that get you a lot of success and being an assistant coach and as a player. And that's the first thing that I applied, and that's exactly what I'm doing now. And of course, you're referring to Pat Summitt, the great head coach at Tennessee that so many former players talk about as just a great mentor. Yes, well, you know, Pat's record speaks for itself, and I think that you've seen her teams going through a lot of transitions, but, you know, her teams have always worked hard, and that's the one thing as far as the foundation that we want to instill here is that we're going to work hard and we're going to be committed on and off the court. Well, it's starting to show. We've got to look at some preseason highlights for you, or early season highlights. Let's take a look at some of the talent on this team. The Gophers are led by the strong inside play of senior All-America Angie Iverson. She's had 3 double-doubles this season and still leads the Big Ten in rebounds, averaging 9 a game. Junior Mindy Hansen is also coming on strong, ranking 3rd on the team with 7.3 points per game, while sophomore Kiana Burns is doing especially well and achieved a career-high 20 points against Iowa State this season. Newcomer Aisha Whitfield scored 15 points against Colorado State in her first collegiate game, and first-year players Brandy Pickens and Teresa Lakir are showing great promise. Junior Linda Haas continues to be a steady influence with 6 points and 3 rebounds a game, and returning player Sarah Schieber is Minnesota's long-range threat with 12 three-pointers on the season so far. Angie Iverson, a terrific player. Nice to have her come back, plus a mix of some newcomers. What are the challenges this team is facing right now?
I think the biggest challenge is adjusting to the coaching staff. And the one thing, too, is having confidence in themselves. As you see, the one comment that Sarah made is that the coaching staff, we all have confidence in these 14 young women that they can go out and get the job done. And I think a lot of times, a lot of it has to do with really the confidence that they have in themselves.
Well, when we come back, we go behind the scenes with the team and more with Coach Littlejohn. Stay with us. Cheryl Littlejohn is the 6th head coach to take over this women's program at the U of N. People who have watched you and talked about your coaching style say you're tough, you're very direct. I don't know how different that is from any other coach that's out there, but what would you say is sort of the core of your philosophy as a coach?
I think the bottom line is I'm very demanding. I think the expectations and that I asked of the players, it not only extends between the lines, it extends off the court. So the philosophy of the program is that, I want a team that's going to be able to execute on both ends of the court. And we got to be physically and mentally sharp and be able to be prepared for any challenges that we face. So I think that right there is sometimes demanding, but that's the only way that I know how to be.
In terms of the skills, the fundamental stuff, you inherit a team and you see what you've got. What is it that you're emphasizing right now as far as a coach and a teacher with the talent that you've got?
That's it. We going back to the basics, and I think they are the basic fundamentals. When you inherited a team that averaged 24 turnovers a game last year and giving up 84 points a game, I think that you got to look over. We got to take better care of the ball, and we have to be a better passing team. And I think a lot of times is being able to execute in the half court. You got to be able to set screens, use screens. So those right there are the basics of the game, which are the fundamentals that we are just now starting to get a grasp of.
As we saw in the win on Saturday night. Another key word for the Gophers this year is focus. And as you're about to see, that concept will have a lot to do with the success of this team. The Golden Gophers are starting the 1997-98 season with a new attitude. Under the guidance of Coach Cheryl Littlejohn and her staff, the U of M women's basketball team is working, thinking, and delivering like a winning team.
We are a whole new team.
We're improving every game.
I want to win again.
There's a different kind of excitement surrounding this team this year, and the inspiration comes from the top. The new coaching staff brought a tireless energy and tremendous will to win to this program. Yet Coach Littlejohn says none of this would be possible without talented players.
I think I've come into a gold mine situation. I mean, we have all that we need, I think, to be successful here. And I think that in order for the program to move on to a new direction or a better direction, that you have to bring in talented student athletes who can play at the highest level. And not saying the ones that we have that can't. I think that being motivated, being higher expectations, higher demands placed on them by myself and my coaches. And hopefully that right there will definitely rub off on the 15, and they're going to lay the foundation of the program. It's not the ones that's coming in next year. It's the ones that we already have here.
Higher expectations may be driving this team right now, but it's hard work that's making the difference. And as coaches and players agree, an emphasis on fundamentals is the foundation of any winning program.
You need to pick out 3 things offensively, 3 things defensively, that you need to focus on in practice. Don't focus on the big picture and the results, the big W. No, we got to break it down. And we break it down with small little things in execution. of doing the little things right.
Looking at our record last year and looking at the mistakes that we constantly made last year, turnovers and things like that, it was necessary to stress fundamentals so that we had to start over, go back to the drawing board and go to page one and just learn basketball all over again from their perspective and take it from there.
One of the biggest challenges this team faces is putting the past few seasons behind it. And that's a reality the coaching staff is prepared to deal with.
She's their shooter.
The main goal for Coach Littlejohn and her staff is to revive the program. To fulfill this mission, Littlejohn has hired an all-star coaching staff. Assistant coach Jody Adams played for Tennessee and was part of the national championship team in 1991. Former Gopher Mark Wilson also joins the ranks as an assistant coach. He played for the U from 1982 to 86 and was team MVP in 86. Tori Harrison rounds out the staff, coming to the U from a head coaching job at Coppin State College in Baltimore. Together, this is a staff that has experience at winning.
The coaching staff, that is, have been in winning programs, that played at the highest level of competition on the collegiate level. And, when you have people of that, with that experience and you're a youth or someone trying to learn from them, you have to want to know more about it. You want to embrace their information, their experience. And I think that's what the kids are doing right now. They're looking at us and they want us to guide them and help them not only as a team but individually as well.
Many coaches have said that one of the greatest rewards of the job is watching players grow and change as competitors and as people. Spending time together away from games and practices is helping this team to gel, as well as experience some of their own rewards.
We're improving every game. We're not seeing it so much in the win-loss column, but we are seeing it. Defense is picking up. This year we're running an offense. Everybody's more enthusiastic. We're quicker, and it's going to all come together, and it's going to start showing in the win column.
We're playing to win instead of not to lose, and I think that's making the biggest difference. We all know our roles. I believe we all know our roles, and there's not one person that's selfish, and we are going to win as a team, not as each individual person.
The players and coaches know they need to perform to their highest potential as they encounter a tough schedule coming up. But if there ever was a time in Gopher women's basketball history to be optimistic, this is it.
You've got to go after it. You don't have a second chance. You got to step out there on that limb. Don't just, test the waters. Don't just put your toes in the water. Go ahead and jump in. And so those expectations are high.
A lot of talk about high expectations, about winning, about gaining momentum, improving. What is a realistic expectation when you come into a program like this that really has a long way to go?
I think the most realistic expectation right now is just to get better every day. We can't live for 2 weeks from now or a year from now, 2 years from now. I think that's the way that I've looked at it. That's the way my entire staff has looked at it. We want to improve every day. And we make the little improvements on basic fundamentals and working hard. And I think the most important thing is that I'm asking for a full commitment from everybody, not just the players on the team, from our entire staff. And we're going to see some success and we're going to see some wins. But as far as how many wins, who knows?
That's what everyone gets to watch and find out. Coming up next, we'll tell you about two players who returned to the roster this year and their unique contributions to the team. Welcome back. Every coach I've ever talked to said one of the things that gives them gray hairs the quickest is the injuries that can plague a team. And certainly you've experienced how much that can impact a team. How healthy is this team right now?
We're probably about 80%. I think that's something that we have no control over. And I think you look at the injuries that this team had last year compared to this year, we're a lot healthier. But Sarah Schieber, she's coming off of an ACL injury. Sonia Robinson, she's had a pre-existing injury before she even came to the U. So she's suffering from some stress fractures. And I'm not going to allow that to I'm not going to allow that to deter me as far as what we need to get done on the team.
You'll get your gray hairs another way, right?
There you go.
One player who was sidelined last year with an ACL injury was Sarah Schieber, as Coach mentioned, and she's come back even stronger than before. Sarah Schieber is the kind of player coaches dream about. She's talented, committed, and works hard. Best of all, she's got the attitude of a leader.
I try and use smarts more than quickness for me, and to just look for the openings and be more of a scorer for our team. That's my role, I feel.
Sarah has been playing basketball for 12 years. By the time she got to high school, she had reached star status in her hometown of Caledonia, Minnesota. She was an all-state selection her sophomore, junior, and senior seasons, and was named Academic All-State her senior year. She averaged 13.3 points and 5.5 rebounds a game, and finished high school as class valedictorian.
Excellent!
Sarah joined the Gophers in 1994 and was voted the team's most improved player in the 1995-96 season, a year in which she also earned academic All-Big Ten honors. But Sarah's toughest challenge came last year. She had to sit out the entire season due to an ACL injury she sustained during the first practice of the season.
I had to play a different role. I was more of encouraging, trying to motivate in that type of role instead of being on the court and showing by example.
And now, Sarah has come back stronger than ever. She's the team's leading three-point shooter and is one of its most respected players.
And she's a wonderful person to be around. You can tell she's determined. She's a fighter, or she wouldn't be back from this ACL injury that she had. But she steps on that court like there's nothing wrong. And the only thing that you can see in her eyes is, give me the ball. I'm ready to score.
Despite her love for the game, Sarah made the decision recently to end her Gopher basketball career at the conclusion of this season. After much contemplation, she made the commitment to attend dental school next fall.
It was a big opportunity for me since I got accepted, and I had to take it. I love playing basketball, and I'm going to miss it a lot. I'm going to miss my friends. You know, all my teammates are my friends and my coaches, and just playing the game I loved. I played over half my life, but it was a big decision, but I think it's the right one for me.
We wish her the best of luck. One thing you don't seem to be lacking on this team is a group of determined players.
They are, and that's the one thing that I think that really a lot of people underestimate, and the one thing that a lot of people really can't see is that all the players here have a lot of heart.
Yeah.
And they're determined.
And getting to another player who sat out last season was Swantrika Taylor. Last January, she became a mom and is now actively juggling that new role with basketball and academics. A junior guard with the Gophers, Swantrika Taylor is a vital contributor to the team. And now, she's adding another dimension to her life. Last January, Swantrika gave birth to Deja. As a single mom, she's learning to balance her new role with all her other responsibilities, which is no easy task.
There are days where I'm just like, oh God, I can't do this anymore. But, you know, I come home and I see that smile on her face, and, you know, she makes it so much easier for me.
Swantrika's days are always full with basketball practice, games, road trips, a full load as a nursing major at school, and of course, Deja. Thanks to her supportive family and teammates, she's been able to keep it all in perspective.
I can honestly say that there hasn't been a time that I've just flat out quit and not want to be able to do it. You know, I have my teammates, I have my friends, I have my mom, you know, who's always there for me and coming to get Deja every now and then so I can have a break and study when I need to.
Swantrika feels strongly about being a role model for her daughter, who attends most home games. Above all, her objectives are clear.
I've always said since I was a freshman, you know, I want to be one of those athletes who leave out of here with a degree and get a job, you know, and that's my whole thing about being here. Yes, I'm an athlete. I'm going to give that 100%, but I'm also here to get education. So that's my main goal.
A little extra boost there in the cheering section as well. But do you think that role as a mother has affected Swantrika as a contributor on this team?
It definitely has. I think the most important thing that we are all proud of is that she's become more responsible. And like I told her, that my expectations as an athlete for her would not change, that she still was going to have to be more responsible and dedicated to be a student and an athlete. But we understand that her first priority definitely is Deja. Right. And she's done that.
When we come back, we'll talk with Coach Littlejohn about her recent recruits. Stay with us.
A name synonymous with Gopher women's basketball is Carol Ann Shudlick. She holds 8 U of M records, including the career scoring record of 2,097 points. She earned all Big Ten and All-America honors, and in 1994 won the Wade Trophy. Since graduating, she's played professionally in the U.S., Spain, and is presently playing in Sweden.